Crafty Gemini. I post weekly how-to video tutorials right here on YouTube, and in this video I want to tell you all about my experience at the tailored women's jacket workshop that I went to at Gentleman Jim's studio. If you watch most of my videos, you probably already saw this video where I mentioned I was getting ready to go to the actual workshop. So I drove up to Savannah from where I live in Florida. It took me about 3 hours, and then Gentleman Jim's studio was right in Midtown Savannah. I got there the first morning, and we got to spend 3 full days from 10 a.m. all the way till 6 p.m. and some days a little bit longer than that, working on this tailored jacket. So I'll share with you the pattern that I used. So many of you out there actually helped me choose this pattern, which is the one that I ended up creating. It's Butterick B4610, and if you recall on social media like Facebook and Instagram, I posted a picture of 3 different patterns. It was a Butterick, a McCall's, and a Vogue pattern, and I think the consensus was to go with this Butterick one. I really like the silhouette, and I agreed with some of y'all's comments, so we went ahead with this one. I cut the size 18 and cut out all my muslin pieces and took that prepared to Gentleman Jim's workshop. So the first day we sewed up our muslin, we took some measurements and saw where we needed to change some things. The dart on the front of this one was a little bit too close. We decided to move it over. Then when we started putting it together, we did see that we wanted it a little bit moved over. So we were able to tweak all kinds of things that we wanted on the pattern. So I'll share with you some of the things that we covered in that class because Gentleman Jim is a master tailor. I was super excited to learn all kinds of things. I'd never tried my hand at a tailored jacket or any tailored garment before, right? So in my head, I kind of had an idea of what goes into a jacket and how it comes together, but I had no idea like the actual steps, right? Exactly what order. And I'll tell you the truth that I was so glad to go to this workshop because he did things a lot differently than what it's covered in the instructions that come in the pattern. So he gave us a lot of shortcuts, tips, tricks, and basically things that he's learned or come up with over the 53 plus years that he's been a tailor. So that was great. Now, you can see here we have some darts. There's a little bit of shaping. We put in some shoulder pads on it. Now, the fabric for this, it almost feels like a little bit of a suede, but it's a lightweight fabric. I didn't bring this fabric there. He actually provided us with these high-quality fabrics that he had there, so we were able to choose, you know, lightweight, medium, or heavyweight, what we wanted based on the temperature where we live. And so for Florida, I went with a more lightweight jacket, and it really has a nice, smooth feel to it. Lightweight, and this was good for me to get an idea because now from working with this and seeing what the other students worked with as well for their fabrics, I was able to get a better feel for the type of fabrics that I'd like to use going forward, right? Because it's really different when you pick up a fabric off the bolt. It may feel lightweight and you think that that would be the perfect weight for your jacket, but then by the time you interface the parts that need to be interfaced, you include the lining on it, shoulder pads, by the time you do all that, you have all these different layers that it's going to end up being not as lightweight as you had anticipated. So it was good for me to go through that process and learn about that. One thing I liked about this jacket is the shaping, right, and the silhouette that it has is really nice because of all these different panels it has. So instead of the back being 1 or 2 pieces, it's actually 4 pieces. So you have this side here, the left side, and then you have another panel on the side. You have another one here and another one there. So you get a lot of shaping. And one thing to note is that the more pattern pieces, whatever garment you're making, the more pattern pieces it has, the more you'll be able to customize it to fit your shape because you'll be able to take in on a lot more different pieces as opposed to having 1 or 2 solid panels of fabric, okay? So keep that in mind. I know it's daunting when you pick up a pattern that has like 20 pieces, but if you can just go step by step and do one at a time, you'll notice that you do have a lot more areas to take in and to fit to get a more custom shape in the finished garment. Sleeves, so everything is fully lined. Another great thing that we did was this collar here. It was a great tip that he gave us. Using the same pattern pieces that came in the pattern for the collar, he taught us a little trick about cutting a piece out of it and then we re-sew it back on, and what that does, it kind of creates a bulk down here at the curve, and so it helps the collar lay and fall back without you really having to flip it back. You know, when you're wearing a jacket, sometimes it kind of pops up on you and you hold it down, press it down. This actually helps it do it by itself. So that was really great. You can see if this is the collar up, once I turn this around, it really pulls it down and it really helps keep that collar down. So that was a great tip. He taught us a couple tricks on tacking in the sleeve so it doesn't come out after you're wearing it. lining and the step-by-step process of how he puts together the lining, so that the last thing that we have to do is basically just hem the inside part of the sleeve opening down here, and then sew the arms into the arm opening, the lining part that is. Everything else was done. So it was really, I mean, it wasn't hard at all. And I was thinking, well, let me sign up for a tailored jacket workshop, because really this is probably going to be one of the hardest garments that I'll ever have to make. And after doing it once, I'm really confident that I can actually put this together again myself. It wasn't that hard. You just take it step by step, and it was great that I took notes, took pictures, and even took some video clips of how everything went together so I can remember for the next time that I tackle the same project. Something else that he taught us, I forgot to mention, were these pockets. This was probably the highlight of this jacket. I was so impressed with myself. I'd never created these pockets. Gentleman Jim calls them double pipe beeson pockets. They're also called double welt pockets, double piped pockets, whatever you want to call them. They basically have two little strips of fabric here, and they're fully lined. And I mean, this was the highlight of the workshop weekend. See, on the inside, you don't see anything in here. And then the pocket is fully finished, nice and flat. And I really was impressed with myself that I did such a great job on these pockets. I'd never done this before. And what he did was he showed us how to do it one time on his industrial machine. Then he created samples for us, where our strip sample had one pocket done by him at the top, and then we had to create 3 more at the bottom. So here are the pockets that we had to create. These are the samples. So this top one was the sample that Gentleman Jim made. You can see it's nice and finished. This is how it is on the inside. And then you stitch on the bag of the pocket to it, the facing with the bag, and you create your fully lined pocket. They came out really nice. The first one that I did was this one, is the second one here, and it was just a mess. It's like the edges are coming off. I cut in too far in, a disaster. The third one here was a little bit better, but it wasn't even. And the opening, that's what it was. The gap, or the opening, was like a little bit too big. It wasn't laying nice and flat. So that was that one. And then the last one here was the one that was pretty much perfect. I was super impressed. And after that, I took it straight to my jacket to add the pockets. So overall, if you don't know about Gentleman Jim, I suggest you check his blog out, head on over to his social media sites. He has a Facebook page now, Instagram, and I'll include links to all those things right in the description box below. I know that he is currently working on his schedule for the fall, so he will be offering some fall workshops. So save up your pennies and check out what he'll be teaching so you can head out to Savannah, Georgia and sign up for some of those workshops, because I know that you guys will really, really enjoy them. As you can see, I still need to go back and add some closures to finish off the front of the jacket, and then I'll be done. I had a really great time, and I learned tons from Gentleman Jim at his workshop. Remember, if you're not near Savannah, Georgia, you can't make it to one of his workshops, definitely consider purchasing the DVDs that he has for sale on his website. I'll include the link to his website right here at the bottom of the screen for you. All the links also where you can find out his upcoming schedule of workshops will be included in the description box below. And that's it. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, hit it with the thumbs up below, share it across the different social media sites, and don't forget to click the subscribe button so you won't miss out on any of my future videos. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.